Okay, so we've gone over pre-plucking in the first part of this video. Let's go over my fowl plucker setup and what I've got going on here, and then we get into plucking a bird with it. So I went to Goodwill and I got a desk, and this is what is left of the desk. I just cut it off. The rest of the desk went that way. I just cut it off, and for 15 bucks, this is what I decided to mount the motor on. The motor's got like 4 bolt holes. I've got this guy mounted on with only 2 bolts because that's just what I could get to fit based on the structure of this little side set of drawers. Keep like an extra plucker head, bag of some extra fingers. It's cool to have some storage. So that was my creative solution to figuring out like how am I going to mount this thing. I also wanted to keep it off of like the workbench, just in case I wanted to move it around, or I wasn't trusting that the shop vac would suck up all the feathers. So if it was going to make a mess, I knew I could bail out and like take it outside if there was going to be an issue. But it works great. It's super quiet too. Like that's about as loud as the motor is. So the fingers spin, and obviously you can see in the video how it sucks the fingers off the duck, out the back of the shroud and into the shop vac. Okay, so shop vac, right? Mine didn't connect. It didn't fit. Like it didn't just pop right on top of or inside. Like I didn't have like a male or a female side. So I just duct taped it together, just a couple wraps, and it holds on no problem. I did 34 ducks like this last year. I will say that having the line as straight as possible to the shop vac is important. It'll make it so you don't have any clogs. Okay, so the shroud, I bought this from the Fowl Plucker. It was all cut out, and it was just really up to me to figure out like how am I going to connect it to something, because I bought everything in pieces instead of buying like their whole kit. So I just kind of reinforced a little bit, and then with some deck screws just bolted this guy onto this piece of a desk that I bought. And this works great, like super stable, no problem. So you can get pretty creative with whatever you're going to do for mounting this if you don't buy the kit. And I would say that if you are doing Muscovies, Ed said I could cut this out to make room for like a bigger bird, and I might do that in the future because you watch the video, you'll see it's kind of hard to get a male Muscovy to fit in here, and there's a lot of manipulation that has to happen. And I was worried about cutting it out because it does collect a little bit of feathers, but I might relieve out like just a rectangle out of it because it'll collect some feathers at the bottom just a little bit. So that's the Fowl Plucker. Component wise, this is the head, and then it's got all these sets of fingers. These are the goose fingers that he sent me for doing Muscovies, and then it attaches to the motor. There's a little Allen key bolt right here, and then inside here there's another Allen key bolt that removes the head, so you can change out the fingers. Because the fingers, here's another head Ed sent me to. He's a super nice guy. So you can see inside there, the fingers, you can just they pop out, and they come goose separate in a bag, and then you just stick them through, pull them in snug, and then you assemble this onto the arm, and it just spins them. Okay, another key element here is height. I wanted to be at a height where I could work and not have to be bent over handling ducks in an awkward angle, because it takes like 7, maybe 8 minutes to really get these fingers to take off all the feathers off of a bird. So consider that when you're mounting it. Mount it at a height that you want to work from. So the Fowl Plucker, right? It was, if you go to their website, they're really marketing towards hunters, waterfowl hunters. And when I first got this thing, I didn't have the shroud and I didn't have a desk. That wasn't my original setup. I had this. So what is this? This mounts into the tow hitch mount of my truck, and then I just put a piece of 2x12 on it. This is I think on Amazon I got it for like 20 bucks. It's a tow hitch mount for a vise. If you were doing like some sort of handyman work and you need a vise on the go, that's what this is designed for. Mounting a vise is what it said. So I couldn't get the plucker to line up perfectly on the bolts holes that were on here because it just didn't work out that way. So I put a piece 2x12. I screwed in, or I drilled in my own holes to mount the plucker, and that's how I started. I started with this on the tow hitch of my truck, and I would slaughter a few ducks, usually 3 or 4, and then I would take them out because we have 100 acres that back up to the middle of nowhere. No neighbors, no houses, nothing, just kind of raw land, and I would just blow feathers. Just right back into nature. This is a much lower height. So, you know, this is like tailgate height and you're working down here, and it does feel kind of backbreaking. But it was kind of my entry point into experimenting with this thing and figuring out, do I want to buy a shroud? Do I want to put it on a table? Do I want to connect it to a shop vac? So after using it like this, like, you know, cheap entry point, and realizing how good this thing worked, it was kind of like, yeah, let's make it so I can just stay home and do this. Because, you know, I'd have to drive 10 minutes and it was more of a hassle. So I highly recommend whatever creative solution that you want to mount this on, mount it at a height that you want to work at. And then, you know, shop vac, this works great. Like, I don't get feathers anywhere. The only time I have a little bit of like mess with feathers is when I'm emptying out my shop vac. And the shop vac can handle, like, what is this thing? I want to say it's like a 7-gallon shop vac. I'll probably just put in whatever. I'll write it in over me talking right now after I look at it. But it can hold 3 adult male Muscovies worth of feathers at the like max. And then I'll take it and I'll dump it into, I actually built a trash can out of a giant box and, you know, big 50-gallon trash box. And I just kept filling it up and filling it up. I think I was able to get, what was I? I got at least through half of my birds, at least 15 birds worth of feathers into this 50-gallon bag before I had to, you know, get rid of it and replace it. So what else? Any other last things here? I think that's about it. Okay, here we go. We're gonna run a male Muscovy through the Fowl Plucker. This is the same one that I was pre-plucking in part 1 video. There is like a little bit of footage probably from a different, but also a male Muscovy. So before I run this guy through the machine and, you know, pluck him, I have found that because of the way I dispatch these guys, I exsanguinate them by putting a slit through their, you know, main blood supply just below the jaw. It's not a big slit, but it's enough that as you're working with the plucker, you kind of have to manipulate the neck and the head. And as you remove feathers, you know, that little blood from the neck gets on the skin. It's not the end of the world, and when you cook the, you know, you can rinse the bird a little bit, but there's gonna be a little bit of blood stain on the skin. I just don't like the aesthetic. I wanna it's just like a small additional step here that I've added to keep things looking clean. You know, when you cook it, you're never gonna see it, but I wanna have beautiful cryovac duck breasts in the freezer that get me really excited to, you know, cook some duck breast or legs or whatever. So what do I do to prevent that? So I have been using this press and seal plastic wrap and wrapping it around basically the whole head and that little exsanguination slit in the neck to prevent me from getting any blood stains on the skin. So simple thing, I do it, you don't have to, but I like the cleaner end result that I get doing this. Okay, so we turn on the machine, turn on the vacuum, and I generally start with the neck and just kind of work my way into the body from there. The machine will do the work. You don't need to apply a ton of pressure, and you can break fingers off of the head if you're applying too much pressure. You'll notice how firm this Muscovy is, right? He's cold and dry, right? I've said this a bunch of times. Cold, dry ducks are the way to go here. He looks like he's like super rigor mortis. No, he's cold. He was hanging in the garage. It was like 20 degrees or in the high teens overnight. This garage, I know, it's a work in progress. We moved, it's a mess. But it's not insulated and it's cold and no animals can get to my ducks when they're hanging. So it works. And you can see how big this Muscovy is in relation to the shroud. I was talking about how I might relieve out some space on the shroud. You can kind of see why. I need just a little more room. But it's not a problem because we can, you know, the neck's like an accordion. You can, you know, really bend this guy and move him around. So I start at the top. You can see I'm working my way down. And I tend to go neck and then back and start working my way, down the back and on the sides. And then from there we can go, sort of around and under the armpit. And having these cape feathers, we pulled the cape feathers off when we pre-plucked, makes it a lot easier to kind of move around the backside of the wing and around to, the rib cage and then to the breast eventually. Be patient, let the fingers do the work. Sometimes it'll feel like they're not gripping, like they kind of have to get through the feathers and then get into the down and then really start, doing the work. So you have to be patient with it at first. It'll feel like it's not doing it, but it'll get going. And I used to do the breast first, and I feel like if I do the breast like as the first thing, I feel like then I'm handling the breast a lot, and then the skin has more of a potential to kind of dry out a little bit. So I get the back done, and it's a firm structure, and it kind of helps set the tone for like what we're doing, because the fingers work real easily against the, that hard structure of the back of the duck. And then I work my way around. I do the breasts, and essentially, like you can kind of see, like we're working our way from, from the head or from the neck down to the legs, and manipulate the bird however you need to. Fold the wings, fold them back, fold them over, open the armpit, work your way around in any way that's necessary. You're not in a rush, and make sure that you've got a good grip on however you're, manipulating it, so you don't let so the head doesn't get sucked in with the fingers into the shroud, and like jam up the motor. It's going to happen eventually. You just turn the motor off and get your duck out of there, get them untangled, and then get back to work. Gloves, I recommend gloves, just to be able to have a good grip on everything. The fingers are, although they do an excellent job and it looks kind of aggressive, they're not going to hurt you, but it's nice to have a little protection from for your skin with some gloves. As far as clothes go, duck feathers are pretty sticky. Like all that down really wants to grab onto stuff. If you're just in a sweatshirt, you're gonna be covered in little micro feather dust and stuff. So I'm wearing like a puffy vest thing. Nothing really seems to stick to it. And also, if you've got like anything hanging, watch out. Like that machine will suck up any kind of drawstring that might be hanging off your clothes. So be careful. So I work my way down, and then as I get to the legs, just manipulate, get everywhere you possibly can. If you have timed your feather timing correctly and you don't have a bunch of pin feathers, it should really be impressing you. Like, oh my God, this is working great. I have this beautiful like table ready bird when I'm done, for the most part. On this guy, you can see there's like a few of like the bigger pin feathers that are really easy to pop out. And if you follow along in the playlist of Duck in Depth here on the channel, you'll see like in the fine tuning video, like what little work I have to do because my feather timing was on point. So take your time. It takes about 7-8 minutes to get the whole entire bird plucked with the fowl plucker. The wings I don't worry about too much because, as I said previously in part one, the wings are going to go in the stock. So I get like all the downy stuff off, and if there's like that rim of feathers on like that, what is it, the outside, the exterior edge of the wing, I don't worry about it. I'll just trim it off. All my wing bones, wings, drumettes are going in stock pot. I explained that earlier, so I won't say why again. But yeah, you don't need to kill yourself on the wings. Like, make beautiful breasts. Like, they're gonna look the best, and the legs are gonna look fantastic. If you've got a little bit here and there, like little bits, you can always pluck them by hand if you need to. I think the fowl plucker gets pretty much everything that I want off, and there really shouldn't be anything that you need to do outside of like when you do get to fine tuning, maybe some of the eye or pin feathers, because that's just how that works. If you do miss like a little spot, like go back over it. Just because like you've done a section doesn't mean you can't go back to it. I feel like a lot of the times it's like under the armpit where there'll be like a little tuft, and it's like, we'll just open the wing up and blast that little tuft of feathers or downy fluff out with with the fowl plucker. So you can definitely like go through the whole bird and get them done. And then if you've missed anything, like go get it. Just like spot spot treat, like little spots where you might have missed, you know, like a little feather, a little tufted down, or whatever it may be. Okay, so working around the exit hole, the cloaca, depending on if, so I don't generally fast my birds before I dispatch them and then take them to, you know, through this whole process. I don't have a problem handling them and dealing with them full with waste. I've never had a problem with waste being a problem of, you know, making a mess or whatever. However, when you are using the fowl plucker and you're doing the area around the cloaca, around the exit hole, you know, just keep your mouth closed. Make sure you're not getting like sprayed by any fecal matter, you know, as the fowl pluckers, you know, getting some of the feathers. And you'll see that, you know, I just leave like a little tuft of feathers or downy fluff or whatever around the cloaca, because I mean, that portion of skin is going to get discarded when I do eviscerate the bird. So, you know, kind of watch out for that. And then when you come around on the backside with that oil gland, that fat gland, I avoid it a little bit with the fingers, because it can make the fingers a little greasy and then they lose a little bit of their grip. So I kind of work my way around that just a little bit, avoiding it, because also that's going to get discarded with the viscera when I take all the guts out and I remove like that last tail section. You'll see in the evisceration portion of the video what part of the tail down there gets discarded, but the cloaca goes with it, and the that oil gland goes with it too. So, you know, if you don't do a great job all the way down to the tail, don't worry about it. You're going to toss it anyway. I do want to keep as much skin as I can. So, you know, I do want to get as many feathers off as possible so I can take some fat off of that tail section to use it for rendering, for, you know, so I have beautiful rendered fat. I generally only do like 3 or 4 at a time because, you know, I'm on my own. It's kind of a time consuming project for me. But the Fowl Plucker has really improved the pace of my plucking. I love this thing. I highly recommend it. I'll drop a link to the Fowl Plucker website. Ed is amazing, one of the owners. I mentioned it earlier. He'll take care of you. He really does seem like he wants you to be successful with his product, and he kind of shows up on the back end to, you know, check in and make sure that you've got what you need so you can be successful. Because this is really, I think, what makes ducks not really show up in backyard, you know, small farms and in the market. It's just the difficulty in processing them. They're big, sturdy, durable birds that are waterproof, and they can be a challenge to pluck. But if you get your feather timing right and you use the Fowl Plucker with dry, cold birds, you're going to have probably the easiest time possible. Scalding, waxing, all that stuff, I've done it. It's not as good. This works great, and it's time efficient. It's money well spent. I highly recommend the Fowl Plucker. So these guys are going inside to get butchered. I pluck on the machine and I butcher same day. So next video I'll link to it, and we'll go through butchering, eviscerating, and butchering a whole Muscovy.